Support for Up to Date is provided by Geisinger, providing world-class care for our community, here where it matters.
Hello and welcome to Up to Date from WVIA News. I'm Sarah Scinto, here to keep you caught up on all the news you should know about. A new group across the religious spectrum is exploring America's sacred texts and find out how the new state budget funds mental health. It's Wednesday, August 5th. Let's get you up to date. We'll start at Temple Hesed in Scranton. People of all different faiths and backgrounds recently explored the idea of America from sea to shining sea. In the social hall of Temple Hesed, a large group read the poem America the Beautiful, then discussed what it means to them. WVIA's Kat Bolas reports.
The participants were randomly assigned to round tables during the first gathering of Faith 250.
Everybody here knows something that I don't. And that's why we're here together.
That's Rabbi Daniel Swartz, the temple's spiritual leader. He brought the national program to the Scranton area. It celebrates the country's semi-quincentennial by bringing people together to analyze 4 texts sacred to American life. Swartz recruited people across the religious and non-religious spectrum to participate. The participants first got to know each other, then they shared something beautiful in their lives.
Something beautiful in my life is my family, my husband.
Next, they read the poem verse by verse.
Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife.
Then discussed what it means to them. Shivani Patel told her group that America the Beautiful reminds her of a Sanskrit peace prayer for nature.
May there be peace on the earth, in the waters, and in all plants and herbs.
The night wrapped up with final thoughts on what everyone learned.
How many people are leaving tonight more hopeful than you came? That's pretty cool.
The next meetup is August 11th, and the group will discuss the Declaration of Independence. In Scranton, I'm Kat Bolas, WVIA News.
Thanks, Kat. Find more on Faith 250 at WVIA.org. Now we're looking at the state budget once again. The Pennsylvania state budget includes historic funding for mental health services, including suicide lifelines and behavioral health centers. James Ziproth has more for WVIA.
At the Lehigh County Crisis Intervention Center, a staff of local counselors takes around 3,500 calls a year from 988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Before the center opened last year, local calls were routed to Butler County, nearly 300 miles away. The 2026-27 Pennsylvania budget delivers $10 million for 988. Data shows that 500,000 adults and 130,000 adolescents in Pennsylvania have serious thoughts of suicide every year. Pennsylvania's call centers took 145,000 calls last year, and since launching text services in 2023, 5,000 chats are received every month. But 988 services have been shown to make a difference, with suicides among 15 to 34-year-olds 11% lower after the lifeline launched, and an estimated 4,372 lives saved.
Government, when do right, can do a world of good. We can improve lives, fund the brave work of all of you here, and make sure that 988 operators have the tools, the training, and the support that they need to be the light of darkness in someone's worst moment.
That's Representative Mike Schlossberg, who has used his own experience with mental illness to fuel his push for statewide mental health services. The budget also includes $5 million for walk-in behavioral health crisis stabilization centers, particularly in regions with limited access to immediate in-person care. In Bethlehem, I'm James Ziproth.
Stay with us. There's more Up to Date after this break.
Hi, I'm Sarah Hofias Hall. WVIA News brings you the best information we can find, telling the stories that impact you the most. Head to WVIA.org to read and hear how we report to you.
Welcome back. We have a different health-related story now. Physicians still notice their patients' weight, especially when it keeps going up. Obesity is one of the most pressing chronic diseases of our time, but talking about weight gain with patients is another story. For WVIA, Nicole Leonard checked in with doctors to ask how and when they bring this up.
The exam rooms and hallways at Memphis Street Pediatrics in North Philadelphia are usually filled with squealing babies and sounds of kids running around. But the practice is closed for lunchtime and quiet when I get here. Many patients have been coming to see Dr. Elena McDonald since they were just infants. In between wellness exams, routine vaccinations, and sick visits, McDonald is always asking families about their eating habits, nutritional needs, and physical activity at home.
Even if they come in, if they have an acute illness, and they come in and they've done their weight and things, and I'll say, okay, just keeping an eye on the weight, making sure, how we're doing with our fruits, how we're doing with our vegetables and our water and our physical activity.
McDonald's goal is to talk to both parents and kids about risk factors for obesity as early as possible to set them up for long-term lifestyle changes.
We're educating the family because we need the parents to buy in to what we're saying. So if we have parents that are overweight and obese, then they have to recognize that they're not eating the healthiest. They're not getting enough physical activity. So they have to make changes in order to help their children.
But she also recognizes the challenges families face when trying to make these changes. They may not live near a supermarket, or the fresh produce there is too expensive. McDonald says she wants to find solutions. Ideally, pediatricians can help prevent as many kids as possible from becoming overweight and obese when they're young. Otherwise, they face more serious health consequences as adults. Dr. Samantha Flanagan sees adult patients at the Family Medicine Clinic or weight loss program at Temple Health. Many of them have already been struggling with excess weight for years, and many have had negative past experiences with healthcare providers.
I've had people tell me things like, I had a doctor tell me everything is because of my weight, and they're not going to do X, Y, or Z because I need to lose weight.
Other patients tell her they've felt shamed or criticized in a doctor's office for having obesity.
Some people avoid going to the doctor or seeking medical care because they fear the scale. They fear what someone's going to tell them about their weight. They fear that whatever concern they have is going to be dismissed.
Flanagan takes a different approach with her patients. She asks them for permission to talk about weight, nutrition, physical activity, and possible obesity treatments.
Easy way to say that would be, I think that your weight may be contributing to some of X, Y, or Z concerns that you're having. Are you open to us having a conversation today or scheduling a follow-up appointment to talk more in depth about this? I would say I've almost never had a negative response to that. The vast majority of patients say, yeah, I would love to talk about it, but I didn't know how to bring it up.
Flanagan says this approach helps her build trust with patients, especially those who've had bad experiences with the health system before.
We want them to come back and keep interacting with the medical system so that they can get these health outcomes.
She says some primary care providers can be hesitant about initiating conversations about obesity.
Because it is not a short conversation. And so do you want to open that can of worms that you have 3 patients waiting for you? And do I really want to start talking about this now when I have 15 other things I need to do for this patient anyways?
The conversation can usually wait, she says, but it needs to be had at some point. Patients deserve that.
It's usually not in the moment, life or death, that you have to address someone's weight that second. But it's something that if we just keep kicking the can down the road, eventually it does become that way.
Flanagan says it's taken many years for the medical system and the public to recognize obesity as a chronic disease that deserves just as much attention as other conditions, and there's still a lot more work to do. Part of that, she says, is training the next generation of doctors and nurses. Flanagan teaches third-year medical students at Temple.
One of the exercises that I have them do is practicing. I give cases of patients and I ask them how they would broach the conversation and practice, what's the phrasing? How would you bring this up as an exercise to say, how do you just tie this in to care?
Flanagan and McDonald say they hope greater awareness and better approaches to weight issues and obesity will help more people get support at earlier stages. And it can all start with a conversation at the doctor's office.
That was Nicole Leonard reporting. Okay, one last thing for the day. We've got another Pennsylvania postcard from WVIA's Julie Sidoni.
In the history of cheese, there's before cheese slices and after cheese slices. And you guessed it, Pennsylvania played a role in that transition. It used to be that cheese was sold only by the chunk, or the slab, if you will. In the 1940s, a national food company invented cheese slices, or ribbons, by slicing it cold. But it was reportedly difficult to keep the product fresh. A few years later, in 1956, a man named Arnold Nawrocki, working at the Clearfield Cheese Company in Curwensville, developed a machine that could not only slice cheese, but individually wrap it as well. Nawrocki's method used a hot process instead of slicing it cold. Clearfield Cheese got a patent for its machine, and the rest, as they say, is ooey gooey grilled cheese history. I'm Julie Sidoni. This is a Pennsylvania postcard from WVIA News.
So, how are we feeling? All caught up and ready for the day? Find more stories, as always, at WVIA.org. I'm Sarah Scinto. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you want to stay in the know, make sure you subscribe and tune in every weekday wherever you get your podcasts. Have a great day, everyone. I'll catch you tomorrow, right here on Up to Date.